Hello and welcome to another video. It has been a while as usual. Just wanted to give you a quick update. I'm walking in this thunder clapping behind me here. Not sure if it's going to start raining anytime second here, but as I say, you got to get out every day, get in the fresh air, especially when you're sitting on your ass all day staring at the computer screen. So yeah, I just want to give a quick update on what work is like for me now these days with AI, and give you an anecdote of how AI is being used in a single company, but also kind of across the board based on what I've learned talking to other developers in North America. But AI is ubiquitous now. LLMs, mostly Claude and Cursor, are being used daily. And for myself, I'm using Claude CLI in RubyMine IDE. So I am still using an IDE. I do like to see the code as it gets generated. It kind of helps me to synthesize and understand what exactly is going on, rather than seeing it all at the end in a pull request and then having to review the pull request in, say, GitHub or Bitbucket. Not a big fan of that approach. I like seeing it in the IDE, refining it before I push it up remotely. Excuse the highway noise, but I am close-ish to the highway. Most people I know at work are now using AI. In fact, those who do not use AI, I believe, will be either strongly encouraged to adopt it or to leave. It's pretty much an ultimatum at this point because it is a force multiplier. I just had a performance review. I've been at this company for almost 1.5 years. And just to give you an insight, when I first got there, I was handwriting most of my code with an LLM on the side in a browser, just spitballing back and forth ideas, and then handwriting all the code myself. That has now changed entirely to working with Claude and CLI, and developing a plan, an implementation plan, but usually just pointing it to a ticket. And most of the planning is actually in the ticket because I'm the one writing the tickets for my projects, and then executing that plan. There's a lot of iteration back and forth. Nothing is ever perfect first time, especially on more complex sort of architectural, high level approaches that aren't bread and butter day-to-day things that you do normally. There's a lot more back and forth, usually at the PR level. People will review it and say, actually, let's shape it this way rather than that way. But less and less I care about syntax, and more I care about architecture. And what it really lands on is good judgment. Do you have good judgment? Because an LLM will produce endless amounts. Well, the limit is your number of tokens. It will produce and produce and produce as much as you'd like. Whether it produces good things or the things that you need is based on your judgment. So that is the key skill here, is judgment. And good judgment comes from experience. It comes from understanding fundamentals. I still think that there's absolutely no replacement for learning how to code without AI, having written software without AI. These kinds of things build that experience that I think forms good judgment. And lastly, on kind of that day-to-day AI piece, I feel like some people lean on AI too much, and it's obvious because they use AI to generate all of their responses in threads on Slack or GitHub, and other people really don't like that, so please don't do that. Always be the conduit through which information comes. It's got to come through your fingertips if you're typing, which in most cases it is, because otherwise you'll be talking and you're not using AI for that, I hope. But always synthesize that data yourself. Don't let AI just slop its way into the screen, because it will not look very good on you. You'll look lazy, you will look dumb, and people won't hold you very highly in their regards. That's something I've learned in this last few months, not personally, but just from watching other people's interactions and then other people's watching other people's approaches, and then other individuals consuming those approaches and being very vocal about not enjoying it. So yeah, AI is ubiquitous, got to use it. It's basically fit in or get out with respect to AI. And for me, I was saying I went through a performance, been at the company for a year and a half, went through a performance review 3 months in, then I got a promotion like 9 months in, and then I've had another performance review just recently, and I'm killing it. Like, I got exceeds expectations in my first performance review, then I got a promotion, and then in my next performance review I got an exceeds expectations at the promotion level. And AI has been a big part of that, because I'm very good at driving things to a finish line, orchestrating, seeing big picture things, not getting lost in the details. So that's and communication too. Figuring out the shortest path to the best result is what I excel at, not being the most technical person. So in the age of AI, that's really in my favor. I was never the most technical person in the room. However, I really miss getting in the flow state every single day, solving hard problems, because I could solve problems. Had to be an engineer, to be frank, but man, I really miss that. I really miss it. It was just several hours of my day where sometimes it was extremely frustrating, but on the flip side, equally or more so joyous when you solved that hard problem. And I really miss that. Now I feel more like a manager who's just prompting and managing this black box that is producing code. So that's a part of the job I do miss. I'm trying to find a happy medium between that, where let's say 75% of my time I am just moving quickly with AI, but 25% of my time I'm diving deep and doing more of the thinking myself. And what I miss is building those connections, building the mental maps, building the picture, the architecture of what is in the application in my mind, because you need that in order to problem solve, to see the linkages when you're trying to build something new, looking at how cause and effect might ripple throughout. This is what I miss, because a lot of that's now outsourced, and I feel like I'm becoming at risk of being a worse, less effective developer as a result. So I think it's very important to move quickly, but also at 30,000 feet move quickly, but also from time to time walk on the ground and kind of be in the code and in the thinking. So they're my experiences with it. For me, over the last year, so really since January of 2026 is when I really started, let's say, producing code AI forward first, stopped handwriting my code, and my output has doubled. And I think the reasons for this is A, I'm very good at using it, and B, I'm in a point in my career at a mid-level where the learning foundational hard part's done, and then it's easier to learn more because you've got the mental maps and models already in place, so you know how to apply certain learning, certain concepts, etc., and build on things. So the learning has been even quicker, and AI has accelerated that to the point where I'm able to lead, implement projects that I would have been challenged to do beforehand, if not technically, definitely speed-wise. But now it's really opened that up, and AI has democratized technical ability to an extent. It hasn't done it completely, but to an extent for boilerplate stuff, it's really democratized that. And there's so much boilerplate stuff that maybe stuff that you've written 100 times that you're quick at writing, but there's other boilerplate stuff that you haven't written before, but someone else has, and they're quick at writing. AI democratizes that a lot, because AI is just very good at the boilerplate stuff. Anything that is just standard, it does it, and it does it in a good way. So it's really sped me up to the tune of double my output, to the point where I have been the most productive engineer on my team, and also the newest engineer on my team, and shortest tenure at the company on my team, which kind of just gives you an insight into or how hard I work and what kind of mentality I have. Like, I come on here and tell you I'm self-taught, I learned to code, I got a job. It's not for everyone. It's bloody hard, and I have let's say, okay, thunder, hopefully it doesn't rain soon. I'm telling this because I want to be very clear that Not everyone is going to be able to go and do this. You've got to have the mindset to do it. Anyway, it doubled my speed, and it's good. It's good to have double speed. It's good to have good performance reviews. It's good to get raises. It's good to get promotions. All of these things on paper are good. In my soul, I do yearn, even one day a week, to just have that coder's high again. I really do yearn for that. It's not to say that, boo-hoo, poor me. I have a job that pays me very well, that is really pretty good work-life balance and pretty chill for the most part. Boo-hoo, it's a big deal. However, job satisfaction is very important, and it is something that's on my mind. No terms am I thinking about changing anything, but I don't think I'm alone. I think many engineers are feeling this way. Developers, engineers, or whatever you want to call yourself. I think many people miss that. So, what are we now? We're really about 8-9 months into hardcore LLM AI first forward coding, and we're still feeling things out. One thing I have noticed in the beginning, we were encouraged just to use whatever we want, however we want, whenever we want. Now with tokens going up and up, and cost per token, or at least cost for compute for problem solving, is going up. We're being asked to just be more careful about how we consume tokens. And I think that trend will continue. I think AI and LLMs will continue to get more expensive, probably to the point where we won't have carte blanche on just using as many tokens as we like. I think we will probably have a quota, or a cap per month, and we have to operate within that and find a way to find a balance between productivity and spend. I see it going that way. And really, my tune for those who are interested in breaking into the industry, I still think that there's very good prospects in the industry. It's a very good provider and career if you can break in. I think now is harder than ever, but still possible. And my recommendations are still going to be the same. If you're learning, use AI, use LLMs to help you understand concepts, but never to write your code. You must write your code yourself. Only at the very end of a project, when you have the thing working, would I then say to an LLM, hey, here's my code, review it for me so I can learn how to do it better. You must learn the fundamentals. If you learn with AI writing it for you, you will never learn, and you will never be a good software engineer 9 times out of 10. That's my opinion. But how counter me? Honestly, I don't think that there is a good argument against that. You'll never be as good as you would be if you learn to handwrite your code. And lastly, you need to build something cool. That's not changed. The bar for what is cool and what is going to get you recognized and show that you have chops has changed, just because the tooling has made that easier. But I still recommend anyone to go out there, find a real problem, and solve it with code. Oh, that's loud. Solve it with code, because I think what people care more about now is less about, are you technically virtuous and skilled, more, are you able to solve problems with code? Are you able to recognize business opportunities, challenges, user needs, and turn that into a functioning, working application? And whatever you do, if you get to the point where you can write web apps and you want to build your project, maybe you want to use AI, so you actually understand how to use it in building an app and using it in tight feedback loops with very clear instruction sets for what to do, what not to do. Do that, but be prepared to talk about your code. You must know it. If you pushed it up, it's yours. Just because an LLM wrote it and it works does not give you the excuse to then say, that's enough. You have to know what that code is doing, the way it's organized and structured, and you have to be able to answer questions on that and answer questions around what you would do better next time with more time, resources, etc. You've got to know what code is. There is no escaping that. There is no easy way through this. Anyway, have a good one.